be made to fight alone. We are all in this together. We are all in this together. But I'll tell you, I think that there has been a certain backward-thinking approach over the last several years, which is to suggest, them folks, to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, the true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. Who you lift up. That's the measure of the strength of a leader. Let's stop with the nonsense. And in this election, we all here know there are two very different visions for our nation. Ours focused on the future, the other focused on... Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about that? And ours, yes, my dear brother, is focused on the future, and theirs is focused on the past. And we fight for the future. We fight for a future where all people receive dignity and respect and opportunity, for not just for some, but for all. That's what we are fighting for. And so we are 64 days out from the election day, and in Michigan, mail-in absentee voting starts in 24 days. 24 days. So this election and our fight is a fight for the promise of America. A promise. I love you, man. And ours is a fight for the promise of America, a promise of freedom, of opportunity, and justice, not just for some, but for all. But what we know is as we fight to move our nation forward, Donald Trump intends to pull us back to the past. But we're not going back. We are not going back. We're 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 not going back. So, and we know what that would look like, right? So, intends to pull us back, including back to a time before workers had the freedom to organize. As president, we will always remember Donald Trump blocked overtime benefits from millions of workers. Tyrese talked a bit about this and opposed efforts to raise the minimum wage. He appointed union busters to the National Labor Relations Board, and he supported so-called right-to-work laws. And if... Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have a choice here, right? And we're not going back, because we also know that if Donald Trump were reelected, he intends to give tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He wants to impose what in effect is a national sales tax on everyday products and basic necessities that will cost, and economists have said this, that will cost a typical American family almost $4,000 a year. He wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act and take us back to a time in our country which most of us remember when insurance companies, you remember, had the power to deny people coverage based on a pre-existing condition. Remember that? Deny people, children who had asthma, a survivor of breast cancer, a grandparent with diabetes. Look, America has tried those failed policies before, and they are failed policies. And we are not going back. And we are not going back. where no person has to go broke just because they got sick. And so when I am president, we will continue to strengthen the Affordable Care Act. We will bring down the cost of prescription drugs, not only for some, but for all Americans. We fight for a future where every worker has the freedom to organize. And so when I am president, we will pass the PRO Act and end union busting once and for all. And I'll remind everybody on all these bills, we got to elect a Congress who supports that to be able to actually get that work done. We fight for a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. And so when I am president, we will continue to build what I call an opportunity economy, so that every American has an opportunity to own a home, to start a business, to build intergenerational wealth for their family. We fight for a future where every senior can retire with dignity. And so when I am president, we will continue to defend Social Security, Medicare, and pensions, just like we have done. The most important election of our lives, and probably one of the most important in the life of our nation. And here's what I'd say to all the brothers and sisters assembled. We know this is going to be a very tight race, to the very end. We know, and I got your back, but I'm telling you, we know how they play. We know what they do. So let's not pay too much attention to the polls. Let's know, like labor always does, we are out here running like we are the underdog in this race because we know what we are fighting for. We know what we stand for, and that's why we know what we fight for. And we got some hard work ahead of us, but again, we all like hard work because hard work is good work. And to do that hard work, I'm going to count on everyone here, all the leaders here, for your work, for your organizing, knocking on doors, and getting folks to the polls. Because put bluntly, Michigan, y'all know how to win. You know how to win. You know how to win. So today I ask Detroit, Michigan, are you ready to have your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.